Kryptos comes from the ancient Greek word kryptos, which means hidden, concealed, or secret. It is at the base of many similar English words that you may or may not have heard of, such as crypt and cryptic, which I feel like I just said the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's all there.
Yeah, just keep going down the crypt line of words. More importantly to this particular story, though, it is also the name of a statue that sits on the grounds of the George Bush Center for Intelligence at the Central Intelligence Agency headquarters in Langley, Virginia. At first look and to the untrained eyes, the sculpture would appear to be nothing more than a bunch of gibberish etched onto curved metal sheets divided into 4 sections. These random letters appear as though they've been punched through the metal structures, and there appears to be no order to how they've been arranged. Beyond that, however, lies a deeper meaning, an unsolvable code that has confused and entertained many cryptologists and code breakers for decades now. I'll let you guess what the word cryptologist means. Since its installation in 1990, 3 codes have been deciphered from the artwork, but the 4th still to this day remains a complete mystery. The man who created Kryptos, Jim Sanborn, and CIA cryptographer Edward Sheet have both hinted at a 5th code to be solved after the 4th is discovered. Will this code ever be solved? And more importantly, can it even be solved? It's a race against time, as Jim himself is nearing 80, and that's the age when people start to die, and he may not ever reveal his secrets. So let's dive in this week and find out exactly what is hiding behind the code, behind the Kryptos code in this week's episode. And thankfully, of course, I have Jordan here, the world's most preeminent expert in cryptology and
guiding the way, and also emotional support. You forgot that.
Yeah, emotionally supportive friend, of course. You're the one that needs emotional support.
Emotionally available, as all of it. And there's a lot of things that you could do, as Jackson hinted to, with his apt use of the word crypt at the beginning of other words that are quite similar to it. You can do that with a lot of words in the English language, it turns out.
Yeah, it seems like the English language is like Lego blocks. We just keep building words out of different words. It's pretty interesting how that happens.
Yes, anything Lego related is interesting, isn't it, Jackson?
I have perked up in my chair. Could this conversation be turned into one about Lego? Let's find out.
Let's find out. This week on Jackson tangentially relating things to his personal interests. You'll like this. You'll like this. I just went to the mall, Jackson, and I went past a Lego store.
And you didn't go in?
No, I was going towards it, and I saw the 2 fat nerds that were there, and they recognized me, and so I walked the other way. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get a selfie of myself in a Lego shop. It's too pathetic.
No, it's not. That's fucking Chad. That's baller as fuck, dude.
Yeah, that's the first word that comes to mind for me too. Watch Jackson relate the words Lego and Chad.
And Chad. I could do it very easily. Very easily. I've had a lot of practice. Okay, so this week, a lot of stuff has happened in Jordan's life. We're not going to comment on that. Obviously, you can go check out his channel for information about that. This isn't the place yet for conversations of that Jordan-related stuff, but you could go find, he's got videos on his channel that talk about it, so go watch that instead. This week, we're talking about Lego and Kryptos, though, which is just way more interesting anyway. So, and way more of a big deal.
Possibly. I like this so far. In the paragraph that we've read, it sounds like a real-life Da Vinci Code. The guy looks much less handsome than I envisioned Robert Langdon to look like. Nonetheless, everything else stands true to my imagination.
I reckon with you, I reckon you're incredibly interested by 2 things: hidden meanings behind code, and also just the CIA in general. Anything to do with the CIA, I think you would have just an innate fascination with.
And it's all there.
Yeah, it all comes together.
Yeah, no, surely this is what I am I've never read the book, but I guess that this is what Digital Fortress is about. Off of nothing.
No clue.
Neither.
No clue at all.
I don't think anyone
No clue
has
at
read
all.
Digital Fortress.
One day we may find
three
out.
books. Yeah, one day we might. And the answer's probably not.
Once.
Unless Tom Hanks decides to make a very aged character portrayal of Robert Langdon once again for it, I don't think I will.
Yeah, we'll wait for the first person ever to read Digital Fortress, and then we might have some answers.
We might have some answers.
All right, so right up front though, Kryptos code. I'm just gonna lay it out, just so that people can click off already if they're expecting something dark and sinister.
Don't. You're a bad
especially
person
given
if you
that
do.
It's about the CIA. Yeah, I mean, come on, give the CIA a little bit of credit, a benefit of the doubt, please. Don't just go in expecting there to be like evil actions on the CIA's part, guys. Nothing like that. But genuinely speaking, I think this is just the case of it's just an art exhibit, which already makes it a little bit pathetic.
Okay, well, thanks for tanking our views within the first... Before we could even get to the first ad break on YouTube. Cheers, Jackson.
I'm doing them a favor. I don't want them to waste their time on this one. Just head on over to Friendly Geordie's videos. This is how you do YouTube properly. You want to build up some goodwill with the audience first. They need to know that they can trust you.
I don't know. I just want to cash out.
This one's going to suck.
Okay.
This is going to suck. This episode's going to suck, guys. Just leave. The door's over there. Exit left. Come back next week, though, where I will tell you within the first 5 minutes if the episode's going to be good or not.
You're not doing a girlfriend, I look really bad in this, looking for a compliment, are you? Because to me, this really does seem like it's going to be really interesting.
Please tell me that this episode's good once we get through to the end of it. I'd appreciate that a lot. If you're still here, which you probably aren't at the moment. Anyway, Chapter 1, Hidden in Plain Sight. Kryptos was installed in the courtyard of the George Bush Center in 1990. Immediately, CIA cryptanalysts were intrigued with the art installation, which bore thousands of seemingly random letters and a couple of question marks. What were those question marks doing there? Immediately, the eggheads at the CIA facility became infatuated with the unsolved cipher. They ran an internal competition at first, challenging each other to see who could possibly decipher the codes, but they were unable to make any meaningful progress. The CIA agents were, at the beginning, the only ones able to see the sculpture, and the public were unable to get involved in the action or even see the sculpture until March the following year of 1991, as the statue was on private grounds. The art installation, and perhaps the puzzle itself, doesn't just begin with the sculpture itself. There are broader suggestions that the secret message and the puzzle extends across the grounds itself at the facility. At the west entrance of the buildings, there are 3 slabs made of copper and granite. Those are some of my favorite materials of all time, so it's good to see the CIA represents them in good faith. Thank you, CIA. One has a compass. You like granite as well, surely? Like a nice
who's not a fan of granite?
Kitchen top slab. It's just so nice.
Yeah,
big fan of granite.
I'll say this: you have quite Italian Guido taste, but nonetheless, it does work.
Is that an Italian interest?
Surely, they love granite.
I thought that was just like a kind of Italian interest. They love granite.
I'm looking at the top right now. Yeah, that's them in every single place I've ever been to that has not an Italian accent. The "you just want spaghetti and meatballs," that kind of guy likes that.
You just want granite?
Yeah, you want granite or what? Yeah.
One of these granite slabs has a compass etched onto it that is pointing to a lodestone. Don't read, Jordan. What is a lodestone?
No idea.
It's not as I'll limit it down and I'll make it a little bit easier for you. It is not, contrary to belief, a stone that people ejaculate onto. That's an entirely different thing.
Damn, that was going to be my guess. I think we all
Stones are good at taking loads.
Lodestone. Jesus,
no,
you really like granite, don't you, Jackson?
Big fan of granite. Big fan of covering of granite.
Oh, the cleanup is just such a dream afterwards. I'd imagine it would. Maybe that's why they like it as well.
I think going to your show the other night made me even sicker somehow. Like circled back around to being more sick than I was beforehand.
Yes,
So
what a review. Thank you very much, Jackson. To potential paying customers, come see Friendly Geordies. It gives you a
You'll
mental
be sicker
illness.
for
it. Jesus, yeah, no, you really are, aren't you? You're in the doldrums. What the hell happened to you? My show, that's right.
Yeah, the show. Too much laughing. Too much laughing.
Yes, of course.
It really does it.
That's what everyone took away from your review just there.
So no, what is a lodestone? Give it to me. Now that you've had time to think about it.
All right, okay. Is it a stone that you put other stones on?
No clue. I don't know what a lodestone is. Let's read on
Foiled again by one of Jackson's riddles. Far out. You'd make a sick leprechaun.
The Kryptos code isn't the only enigma in this one, guys. You gotta stay on your toes.
Yeah, this will be the twist. You made this fucking sculpture, didn't you?
No, a lodestone is it's magnetic, right? Fuck, I don't know. Let me have a look. Lodestone. Pretty sure it's just a magnetic stone.
But there's so many magnetic stones.
Lodestones are naturally magnetized pieces of the mineral magnetite. They are naturally occurring magnets which can attract iron. There we go. We found out what a lodestone is.
Oh, okay. I think I know what those are then. We used to use them in primary school to pick up other stones, and then we once went to a jeweler and said to these little tiny little pebbles that we picked up from school, how much money is this worth? And he told us to leave the shop. On reflection now, 20 years later, I can see why.
You sure you weren't just using magnets?
Maybe I was using magnets. I can't remember. Did you do the same thing?
No, never. Magnets scare me.
Well, you're too high in morals. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I absolve myself from using magnets.
You are looking down on me a lot this episode, I have to say.
Even before the episode, with your opinions on flights and things like that, we've been talking before the episode. You guys don't want to know what he thinks about the commoners in economy class, for example. If only.
Oh, yeah, they are filthy. They truly are the plebes.
So anyway, magnets. This lodestone is magnetic. There are also seemingly random lines of Morse codes imprinted onto the copper. Walking through the entrance and atrium of the facility, you'll enter into a courtyard, and in the middle of this courtyard is an off-centered pond. What the heck? There are similar slabs to the ones at the front, but these do not have any markings or code on them. Then tucked more in towards the corner of the area is the creme de la creme, the sculpture itself. Copper formed into an S shape. The corner of this area is arranged into 4 sections with hundreds of letters punched out. On one side lies a slab of petrified wood, and on the other, a small circular pond/water fountain, which we've got some pictures here that you can see this little area. There's a pond, there's the statue, there's a compass, a lot of good hallmarks of an escape room. I'm getting escape room vibes from this. If you were stuck in the CIA
outdoor
courtyard.
Escape room, sort of defeats the purpose of being a room, but
just walk out. It's the easiest escape room.
You did it.
Yet.
Congratulations.
Jax has been stuck there for 6 weeks.
Okay, so you're miming the room being there. I've got to say, you are really committing to the bit. It's not a bad, just looking at these really close-up photos and nothing inside the office at all, you got to say that the CIA headquarters does look cool.
I do appreciate how they take their reputation so artistically.
As do I.
Yeah, it's quite a odd characteristic or behavior of this so-called highly sensitive, highly secretive, highly assassinatorial government branch, where they're actually dedicating time to installing art exhibits in their premises. I just wouldn't have expected that from the CIA.
Neither. Maybe it is really ritualized in there. No one knows, do they? It's really cool. It's a government-sanctioned Masonic club. So who knows what they think? No one knows.
It's its own entity, really. Just like we've always talked about how the CIA operates above even, the president of the United States. Of course, we've got many examples of that throughout time, and it really does feel like they're just their own little club that exists perpendicular to the United States itself.
Mm. So they do whatever they want in there, and maybe what
And
they
sometimes
do.
that's art exhibits.
Yes, I guess they want to make advanced Sudoku puzzles. That's part of their departments. They do seem to have copious funding. I wouldn't be surprised if they have that.
I do just appreciate the image of, some operative agent inside there, a CIA agent, like, executing a drone strike that kills, 100 people or whatever. And then he's like, fuck, I got to take a breather. And then he walks outside and just sits by this cute little CIA koi pond, basically.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a weird image.
Looking at it, trying to crack that little code at the top there, resets his
just
mind.
for fun. Yep.
It is
Goes
nice,
back
isn't it?
in and confirms an assassination order, killing 3 dignitaries.
Everyone needs to go on a
all in
break
one
from
day.
Coles workers to assassins.
You
need to recharge.
You need to recenter. The Kryptos sculpture includes almost 1,800 letters. It's divided into 2 parts. On the left is a block of ciphertext, which are letters that have been deliberately scrambled from the plain text, and the plain text is the hidden message in code talk. And on the right is a keyed vignaire. Let me look up the pronunciation of that. That's a French word. You give it a shot.
Okay. Okay. Visionnaire. What do you reckon? No? Right off the mark?
I'm listening to a video on it.
Oh my God. What? There's like a 6-hour documentary, is there?
The origins of the word visionnaire. All right, whatever. We'll go with whatever your pronunciation was. Do it again.
Visionnaire.
Visionnaire. Visionnaire. And on the right is a keyed visionnaire table,
Nice.
which is a grid used to decode or encode messages. Jim Sanborn, the artist behind the installation, has said that the top half of the ciphertext was made with the visionnaire cipher using the keyword Kryptos. To build a code table using this method, you start with the standard alphabet A to Z. What's the advanced alphabet? Do we have an advanced alphabet? It's made me reconsider the alphabet. Does it include like different symbols?
Dude.
Now I'm curious about that.
Yeah, okay, all right. Now I'm going to Google that too. Sorry, everybody listening to this at home.
Google advanced alphabet. Have we been using the basic bitch-ass alphabet our entire lives?
I think we have. We've been using the beta. Yeah.
Oh my God, there's been like 48 other letters that are just way cooler, and we've been stuck with A to Z.
All right, I'm going to have to look up advanced alphabet English and see what it says.
Anyway, you start with the standard alphabet and write it across the first row, and each row below repeats the alphabet but shifted a particular way, creating a 26 by 26 grid. The keyword, remember, that's like the key. Obviously, it's in the name of it. It's the key that unlocks the cipher. The keyword tells you which rows to use when turning the original message into its scrambled form or back again. So while the alphabet originally looks like A to Z, by then shifting the keyword letter to the front of the alphabet chain, it looks like Kryptos first, so KRYPTOS, and then ABC onwards. So it shifts the alphabet that way. We're going to be talking about a lot of code in this episode, which will probably be helped by having visuals on the screen. So if you're an audio listener or you're driving in the car, just wait until you get home. If you haven't already clicked off the video, using my advice at the start of this video, you can watch the YouTube video for the visual guide or add additive elements that will maybe help.
This is more of a dumbass audio book than a podcast. Please see the visual aids.
Yeah, exactly. From there, the chain gets shifted one place to the left. So the leftmost letter, which was K in that previous example, gets moved to the other end of the chain. So it now looks like RYPTOS, then A through to Z, and then K at the end. This is repeated until a table of 26 by 26 rows is made. You are then left with a complete visionnaire table. This isn't the complete Kryptos Visionaire table. However, Sanborn added index rows of the A through to Z alphabet on the left, top, and bottom, which frame the actual table. And again, this picture's on screen right now. On the right side, the first 4 columns are repeated, including a duplicate set placed 4 rows lower that doesn't contribute to the table of the code. There's also a single standalone L position in the middle of the right column, just on its own for no reason. It doesn't make sense given the context of the rest.
Yes.
Where did that L come from? Is that part of the advanced alphabet? I guess we'll find out.
Okay, so there actually is, guys, this is a big update. I'm honestly shocked by this. There is 27 letters in the alphabet and one of them's a repeat.
Yeah, duplicate L. And it comes after Z for some reason.
And that's the advanced one, guys. And if you don't know that, you're stupid.
It takes a lot of training to use that second L correctly.
Is there any difference in pronunciation? Courses. What aren't you hearing? It is a duplicate.
There's no functional difference. It just comes after Z. It's so dumb.
That's sick. Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z, and L.
L. Yeah, it's going to ruin the rhyme.
It really does. Now I don't know my ABC. Yeah. What an L.
My L ABCs. Let's put all of this new knowledge into practice. Our secret message will be Jackson, so that's the secret message, but we also need a keyword to be the key for unlocking this message. So let's make that word Ophelia. Kira has had a lot of fun writing this document, I see. That's the name of our cat. They have the same character length, so we don't need to do anything further, but if our message was longer, we would just repeat the word Ophelia until it matches the message length. So if there was more letters in Ophelia, it would just be repeated to match, the secret message, basically. For each position, we pair the plain text letter with the matching key letter. On a Visionaire table, you'd go to the row labeled with the key letter and the column labeled with the plain text letter. The cell where they intersect is your ciphertext letter. And in this example, for the first pair, J from Jackson with O from Ophelia, you find row O and column J, and their intersection is the first letter of the ciphertext. You then simply repeat this process for each pair to get the full encrypted message. So using the code word Jackson and the keyword Ophelia in this example, the example picture up on screen right now, the ciphertext would be UDWEWQK. So that's how you would encode the code word Jackson using the keyword Ophelia. The ciphertext, once it's scrambled, would come out to be UDWEWQK. And then people would need to know the keyword to unscramble it to find Jackson. Importantly, you can decrypt by running the same steps in reverse. So for each ciphertext letter, you use the keyword to choose the correct row of the Visionaire table, then look across that row to find your ciphertext letter and read up the column header to recover the original plaintext letter. The only catch is, though, you must know the key, because of course you have to know the fucking key. That's how you unlock it. Without it, decryption becomes much harder because the Visionaire cipher shifts through many alphabets. Many alphabets? I mean, I'm assuming she just means A to Z repeated, not that there are multiple different alphabets being used. Now there's something even beyond the advanced L-inclusive duplicate alphabet.
Okay, top secret CIA alphabet.
CIA is hoarding all of the alphabets, it seems.
Why isn't there books about
Without
that?
it.
Yeah. I mean, there probably is. It's just we can't read them.
Yeah, they're in a different alphabet. They're in an advanced alphabet. Advanced alphabet. A lot of L's in those ones. Without it, decryption becomes much harder because the Visionaire cipher shifts through many alphabets, defeating simple frequency analysis. So to sum it up, the right-hand panel of the Kryptos installation is a keyed Visionaire table built from a modified alphabet that starts with Kryptos, given the name. Sanborn used that table together with unknown message keys. That's the whole puzzle. We don't know the message keys, or we didn't at the start. We don't know the message keys. We don't know the keywords. So he used those with the unknown message keys to encrypt the plain text, which is what he wanted to hide, into the ciphertext block on the left panel. The left panel is the encoded ciphertext. So to decode, you need to line up each plain text letter with a letter from the keyword on the table to find the matching ciphertext letter, and vice versa to decrypt. So in other words, the table on the right is the reference grid that then generates and can undo much of the left side text. You get it? You understand, Jordan?
Not at all. And all I've
Very good.
understood is that the CIA are massive, massive nerds. Huge. They're really into this stuff.
I love codes and shit like this. This shit's cool. What's wrong with you? You're more interested in the
You're
letter
into
L.
this? Oh,
yeah,
way
I think
more.
this is awesome. I love clandestine little code breaking shit. It's cool.
Well, is there some kind of scholastic book that you picked up that makes you a little more adept at this? I'm trying to follow along with it, and I really do feel like a jock in one of the 80s films. And it's not a bad feeling, actually. It's the first time I've ever felt like that.
Yeah, you actually do feel
because
like a
I don't understand something. That's why I feel like a jock. That's why I'm cool, because I'm dumb.
That's the intended red thread the conclusion to what I want people to feel when watching Red Thread. I want them to feel
alpha.
Confident. I want you to come out of this confident, knowing that you know very little about what we talked about. That's always the best feeling.
There you go.
I hope you feel
mission
strong.
accomplished this week.
So, if you want to also feel confident in your home life, take a listen to this.
You know, fall always seems like a reset between shorter days and busier schedules and going back to school. Oh, you know what it's like, mums. It is tough to find time to prep meals. That's why I love Factor. Their chef prep, dietitian approved meals make it easy to enjoy these hectic times because you've got something ready to go. There's a huge variety of meals. They've just started a new Asian range, so you've got your Thais, your Chinese, and the other countries that are there. Burma. I don't think that that's part of theirs, but they've got the usual. It's also a wide variety. Did you know that you can get seafood and shrimp, no extra cost? I'll tell you, I really like this stuff. Having something coming to your house every day, it just takes a really big part of, what am I gonna have today? That's all gone and handled for the day. And it's delicious and nutritious. Eat smart at factormeals.com/redthread50off and use the code redthread50off for 50% off and how's this? Free breakfast meals for a year. That's the code redthread50off at Factor Meals for 50% off your first box and free breakfast for a year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door by Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying order renewing subscription purchase.
All right, and we are back. In case you are listening to this auditorily, this is Jackson speaking. We just switched voices during the ad break. Kryptos Visionaire in full. Oh, no, wait, sorry. That's not the right one.
Good start. Good start. I'm glad I gave you this responsibility.
Yeah, well, no, you didn't, Jordan. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
We've got our own. Look at it. Codes within codes. It's
getting very complicated.
How you get lost in this.
I am so drugged up at the moment that you might be able to convince me that I'm not me. This might be reality breaking for me. Chris Chan me.
Mystery of Kryptos gained the interest of various crypto analysts throughout the 1990s, each wanting to earn the credit from being the ones to solve the ciphers. There are collections and remnants of emails and messages sent throughout this time consisting of people seeking information on Kryptos and attempting to collaborate with each other to make progress. That was until 1999. Wow, what a coincidence. Right at the end of the 90s, when a man named Jim Gillogly, his name is a fucking code. That's not
we got to decipher it.
He must be from somewhere other than England. Claimed to have finally solved one of the sections of the cipher. Well, if anybody has, it is this Jim Gillogly character.
Yeah, he's an expert at it.
Yeah. Now, there's a man that
he sees the world in code.
Instead of getting laid, did a lot of puzzles as a kid.
I said he sees the world in code. He like sees everything in like C# or HTML or something through those classes.
Yep. He's also got a really sad hairline. God damn. Jim, you can't, at the very least, shave the little tiny patches. You look like a baby bird that was born 2 days ago. You've got little patches everywhere at the top. You've got to shave that.
Yeah, feel free to take
man
this
from
advice
1999 that is probably
retroactively
dead.
30 years ago.
Maybe it grew back. James.
Yeah, we're gonna look up photos of him now. He's got a full luscious head of hair. It's like regrown beautifully. Looks way better than ours.
Wow. He broke the code.
That was the secret.
There are so many stupid names in Red Thread history. It really is just a collection of everybody that has a silly name. James J. Gilligley. It's something that you would say when you're ringing up to prank a bar. Otherwise known as Jim. Well, thank you, for Christ's sakes. Some common sense in this clearly very serious man. Was an American computer scientist and cryptographer hailing from Southern California, incredibly intelligent and adept at creating his own ciphers from a very young age. In his adult life, he became the president of the American Cryptogram Association. This is a ridiculous man.
I've broken the code. If you re-scramble his the letters in his name, it comes up with Milo Giggly. That could be his real name.
What the hell are you talking about?
Like,
You are really
it's
delirious.
a code. It's a code. Just re-scramble the letters of Jim Giggly's name, and it comes up with Milo Giggly.
Oh my God, even when he's sick, he's smarter than me. He's right. I will overlook the missing G. That is fucking clever off the fly.
No, it's spelled with
when
3
you are-
Gs. It's spelled with 3 Gs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Milo. Yeah, Giggly. That's fine. It works.
Where's the other G? Am I
Okay, it's
stupid?
spelled with
There's two
one.
Gs.
It's spelled with 1 G. 2 Gs. Only 2 Gs. It's Giggly. There you go.
I cannot be. No, you're just fucking with me. Now I'm delirious. Jackson, I'm rescinding just purely because you're really pissing me off by trying to screw around with your little lawyer words. I'm rescinding my kudos from before.
No,
It's not
no,
impressive.
I missed it. I missed the
it's
kudos
no longer
anyway.
impressive officially.
I missed the kudos. I didn't even hear it. Don't take what I don't know away from me. Give it back. I didn't know I wanted this thing, but I want it.
What? What do you want?
I want my kudos.
All right, look. I will, on the sly, just to you. This is all Soviet era kind of stuff that we're talking about here. It's all very Cold War-ish. Unofficially, give you kudos for you re-scrambling his name. But officially, I can't. Look, my hands are tied. You were screwing around too much.
I think my delusions at the moment from this medicine have. I think I saw the 3rd G. I realize now that there was not a 3rd G in there. That's my bad. Oh, is it hot in here for anyone else?
I can see another G. That's incredible. So your eyes are doubling up.
I actually feel so sweaty at the moment, man. All right, continue. We need to get through this. Yeah, it's fine. I'll power through it. Keep going.
That's sick. Make your own sauna. It took Jim 4 days to crack only part of Kryptos using a special piece of software that he had on his computer. It took 4 evenings. The posting by Uhasi that triggered the thread was on the 6th of June. Tom's article that I felt obliged to correct was Fuck
Nerd.
me. Dude, this guy belongs in the cast of Big Bang Theory. This is not a serious man. Tom's article that I felt obliged to correct. Oh my God, that's so
that is a
dirty.
serious man. That is a very serious man. That's the most serious man that's ever lived.
But that's what
The
I'm
ones that
saying.
feel
It
the
goes full
urge.
circle. Don't you think that there's something... The Simpsons really cottoned onto this, I think. Don't you think they were very good at highlighting how funny, extremely boring people are?
Yeah.
You know, getting to that level of stringency. You're talking about kids' puzzles, man. Like, this is stuff that you see at the back of a cereal box. I corrected it that day and started working on it again that evening. I looked at it briefly in 1992 and again a couple of times over the years. He's got a weird memory too. Such a nerd. My first rank was announced here on the 8th, and I solved the transposition on the evening of the 10th before my chamber music group's dress rehearsal. I doesn't see anything funny about saying that. No, I don't see anything humorous about that paragraph.
I knew that was going to get you. I knew it.
Mission accomplished.
That's
Jim,
Milo Geegley
comedic king. Figured out that to decipher the text was actually 4 separate sections that had been placed together. Ultimately, he believed that he had solved the first 3, which he had named K1, K2, and K3. Yes, like climbing Everest. But the 4th section, K4, consisting of just 97 characters, remained uncracked by Jim, and he considered it impossible to crack with the information currently available to him. With a resounding
maybe
sense
if he
of pride
spent
and
less time fucking playing with his chamber music group, if he took this fucking seriously, he could have solved it. Also, on screen right now is a picture of the full ciphertext, basically split up into the sections that he talks about. So you see K1 at the top, K2 in the middle, K3 in the bottom half, and then K4 at the very bottom. This K4, these last 3 lines down the bottom, this is the one. This is the puzzle that stumped everyone forever, for all of time.
Wow.
These last 3 lines.
Look at that. Jackson, have a crack at it while you're sick. And misspelled Giggly.
I'll come up with something.
I'll figure it out. With a resounding sense of pride and accomplishment, Jim got in contact with the CIA armed with the answers to the first 3 sections. However, it turned out that he wasn't the first person to solve Kryptos. The first person to actually solve Kryptos was actually a man named David Stein, who worked as a technical analyst at the CIA. David wasn't himself into cryptology. He actually had very little knowledge on the field. He also didn't have a computer with special software on it. Instead, he had solved this part of the Kryptos with a special pencil and piece of paper. Ooh, but it did take him many, many years. Ultimate. Oh, man, he did it. Okay, so he's exactly the man that you were envisioning. After killing some Afghani children with a laser from space, he would go and quietly sit by the koi pond to reset his mind, and he did it over the years. It's a real testament to persistence, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good trait.
Yeah, it's quite ironically Soviet. Using nothing but a piece of pencil and a paper while other people had far superior technology and still coming out first. Taking approximately 7 years and around 400 hours to crack. 400, far out. That's a lot of lunchtime.
And remember that Jim Gilligy did this over a weekend in between his chamber music group's dress rehearsals. This isn't making
but he did have
the CIA
special tools.
look
It's
very
kind of
good.
like comparing somebody who is
True.
using a Stone Age axe to somebody who has a robot to build their house. It's really not very fair.
Pen and paper between like whatever the code version of Photoshop is. Yeah, there's a difference.
There's a bit of a difference.
Yeah. But on the other hand, David was working there. He had access to the grounds. He could go sit in front of the statue. Jim Gilligan couldn't.
No, he had to rely on photographs.
Yes, but
Home
this is the
advantage,
90s. They weren't very high resolution, Jordan.
Okay, so every photo taken of Bill Clinton is an amorphous blur, is it? Notably, it just all looks like Bigfoot. that Bigfoot photo is Bill Clinton. Notably, he could also not solve K4. David's efforts were reported on towards the end of 1998, but it had flown rather under the radar. Hence, those such as Jim did not notice. Brutal. And also doesn't have as hilarious a name, so I do want to accredit to Jim anyway.
Yeah, Jim deserves it. Jim deserves it.
Oh, man, he should so start up a business called Jim's Coding.
Oh, that would be huge.
Wouldn't it?
Does that exist over here? Surely. For Americans, like Jim's is like a franchise of different laborer jobs over here where you could hire a gym to come mow your lawn. Like there's Jim's mowing, there's Jim pool cleaning, Jim's trash collection, shit like that. It's a bunch of
Jim's
different...
mowing started it all. It's an institution. You know what it's actually quite close to? I honestly think he watched that Mr. Plow episode of The Simpsons and thought, no, that's actually a really good business. And he did it.
It is a good business.
Yeah. It's a really, really good business.
It's very profitable.
However, it turns out that David also wasn't the first person to solve Kryptos. What?
There's another Jim. Mr. President, another Jim has hit the code.
Oh,
How many
man.
Jims are there?
Yeah. In fact, he was 6 years late. In fact, the first
my
people to
God.
solve Kryptos have been a couple of employees over the National Security Agency who had also partially solved Kryptos a year after it was erected. For some reason, this was not well publicized. It was only after Jim announced that he had solved it that NSA reported that 3 of their employees were the first to decipher those many years ago. First to solve it many years ago. The following year, which of course is 2000, for all of those history buffs out there, yes, that did succeed 1999. It was confirmed that it actually had been partially solved by 4 cryptanalysts. They did not share how they had solved K1 to 3 until 2013 and 2014 after numerous Freedom of Information Act. I cannot believe that needed FOIs. Why?
They were hoarding the information.
That is Jesus
Freedom-
Christ. How
I think you
secretive
said
is
it in
the
your
CIA? Huh?
I think you said it in your show, right? That Freedom of Information Acts are actually like extremely expensive.
Well, they can be. Maybe really low tier stuff like that, I'm imagining you might be able to submit for free. I'm not sure. But still, the fact that you need to file one and they're being so tight-lipped about it, and the CIA, in true CIA tradition, is saying, this puzzle at the front of the CIA building has not been solved. It has never been solved by anybody. Nobody who ever worked here by the name of Jim has ever actually worked at the CIA. Why are you being... I know it's in your nature to be secretive, but about that, it's hilarious. I'll give them that.
They're in character. I would expect that of them. I would be disappointed if they didn't try to hide this information.
I know, but you know, what happened to you, CIA? You became a parody of yourself. You've changed. At that point, it's not cool. It's just a joke. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't seem seamy to me at that point. If you're putting behind FOIs your little like McDonald's placemat maze, what? Okay. Shortly after these requests were made, the documents were published on the NSA website in 1991. The same year that Kryptos was first erected, a group of intern cryptanalysts from the NSA were invited to the CIA facility on a tour. It was at this time that the four first saw Kryptos and, intrigued by the cipher, became interested in solving it. Back at the NSA, a public service flyer went up at the facility, which was titled CIA Sculptured Study Group. See, they keep getting less cooler by every sentence.
Well, no, this is the NSA. This is the NSA is doing this part. So the NSA have always been nerds, right?
Yeah, but
they've always been
nerdy as
the wannabe
NASA.
CIA
Just put
people
the extra A in at this point. You are on that level. You really, everybody at the NSA must have gotten swirlies at school. Huh?
Yeah, the NSA is just the computer science people who like want to pretend to be CIA agents, but instead they're more interested in spying on people through their, webcams and shit like that.
Okay, so they're pervs. National Institute of Perverts. Okay. It invite anyone who was interested to an information sharing event about the Kryptos sculpture in December of that year in a conference room 3W883. This would begin an informal activity of sharing notes and ideas with the ultimate goal and intention of being the first ones to solve Kryptos. For those of you diehards, this is a quote, by the way, who would like to beat out the intelligence community experts and solve Kryptos first, I've provided for your entertainment all the clues and information I can find. 1, the cipher and code structure is very impressive. The cipher text is half an inch of copper plate that measures 8 feet by 8 feet and is curved to form a bracket. The code text is a half-inch sheet of paper, copper plate that measures 8 feet by 8 feet and curved to form a bracket. They both stand... Other bracket. They both stand end to end and from above form an S. Next to the giant S shape is a 12-foot high petrified tree trunk and small foundation. Whirlpool, added scribble. 2, The compass and lodestone have an interesting orientation. The lodestone is magnetic, making the compass point to it. The compass is carved into a large flat stone next to the lodestone. The compass points to south by southwest. 3. The new headquarters building NHB entrance has a 105 characters Morse code message carved into the large flat half-inch thick copper plates. 4. Near the cipher and code sculpture are 2 wooden benches on the opposite sides of small Lily Pond. One faces north, the other faces south. Benches are of normal construction with no special markings. The lily pond and stonework contain no special signs or symbols. This group began by looking at the 869 characters and immediately noticed the 4 question marks which stuck out to them. The first thought that the question marks may have been the divides in the code, which broke it into the 5 sections. This was a dead end, even in their writing, stating that one of the resulting sections seemed to be completely random. This part is very difficult to break. Brute force method using a computer may be necessary.
Quote.
It's so good. The guys at NSA, hey, I know what the solution to this is. Computers.
Let's get some more RTX 4090s up in this bitch. Let's brute force this.
Things are about to get crunchy. More ominously, though, they noted the final section, the one that plagues those for years to come, as incredibly frustrating, remarking that it may be unbreakable. Hey, to all of you that clicked off, I know you can't hear me. Nonetheless, you really missed out on something this week. Nerds talking about how they cracked something years ago and then giving up. I'm telling you, it doesn't get wilder than this.
Yeah, they come across the first sign of trouble and they piss their pants and get scared into it and say, well, we can't solve it because it's actually unbreakable, guys. That's the only reason. We're highly intelligent. Chapter 3, Challenge Accepted. Ooh. A few months went by with the NSA almost passively attempting to break the Kryptos code in between operations when the CIA decided to directly challenge the NSA. Jesus Christ, the NSA really is just like the betas of the intelligence gathering universe, aren't they? Getting bitch slapped around by the CIA constantly. That's so sad.
Totally. Definitely.
It says here a friendly competition, but we all know that this was a dick measuring competition from the CIA. Yeah, no, this was them putting those nerds into their place. A friendly competition between the two agencies was born. The only thing on the line was the pride of the agents. And for the NSA, pride was in high demand. 4 cryptanalysts at the NSA took on the challenge and they instantly began to make more progress. Ignoring the question marks, they decided to instead look at the frequency of each letter used. They went through Kryptos, the entire code, counting all of the letters in each row, and they realized that the letter frequency of the specific rows between row 15 and 25 resembled English. For explanation of what that means, in English, there are certain expected frequencies, or how common each letter is, that you expect from each letter in a passage of text. E, of course, being the most used, while letters like Z, of course, being the least, and so on. And of course, L is commonly used because there are 2 of them, as we've learned. So, of course, they'll be commonly used.
Yes, we have.
What does this mean, though? Well, if you count letters in any decent chunk of plain English, say a few hundred characters, you'll see that uneven pattern or frequency emerge. Lots of E's and T's, a healthy number of A's, O's, I's, and N's, and only a sprinkle of Z's, Q's, J's, and X's. This is frequency analysis, and cryptanalysts exploit this. If a slice of ciphertext has letter counts that roughly line up with English, it hints that the underlying text might be English put through a substitution or polyalphabetic scheme. That's exactly what the NSA team saw in those mid-range rows of Kryptos. Again, that's those rows between 15 and 25. It led them to the belief that rows 1 through 14 and 26 through 28 were coded with a substitution cipher instead. And a substitution cipher, as the name suggests, means that the letters are changed or substituted so that the messages become other letters. So, for example, A in the plain text would become D in the ciphertext, B to E, for example. They believe that rows 15 to 25, however, and this is important, they believe that that used a transposition cipher, which keeps the same letters in the passage. It just simply rearranges the positions of where they would be. So, for example, if A is in position 1, that A would still exist in the eventual ciphertext. It might just be in position 4, for example. Under the assumption that Kryptos was 3 parts, they began with the first third, what they thought may be a Vigenère cipher. As we explained previously with our ad hoc example of using Jackson and Ophelia, there is a keyword in that example that made encrypting and decrypting the plaintext possible. And if you're keeping up, I believe that was Ophelia. The team needed to figure out what that keyword was to figure out the eventual plaintext. And they did this by first looking at repeating letter patterns. This can be a good indicator of how long the keyword is, which is repeated for how long the message is. When a repeated bit of plaintext lines up the same repeated part of the keyword, it tends to produce the same ciphertext sequence. For example, there's a picture on the screen right now of one of the lines. The above line has a repetition of DQM. And from the beginning of the first D to the second is 8 characters long, meaning that the keyword could be a length that divides 8. So, for example, the keyword could be 1, 2, 4, or 8 letters long. The team evened out the long text and then broke it up into 4 sections, each 8 letters long, which meant that they could check every 8th letter and check for patterns in the code and, of course, the frequency analysis. They kept doing this using trial and error until the pieces began to come together. And the first major breakthrough was the slow reveal of written out numbers in the text, which meant that they were able to focus on completing the word. So, for example, they first found words that started with 5, as in FIV, 7, starting with SEV, and 6. And once they had these, they could kind of, construct the words from these initial discoveries in the code. Put simply, a recurring DQM clue suggested an 8-step rhythm. So they sampled every 8th letter, measured which others behaved like real English, and used those patterns to unlock the key and reveal the message. And this is the first message they recovered. K2, quote, "It was totally invisible. How's that possible? They used the Earth's magnetic field, X, the information was gathered and transmitted underground," misspelling of underground, "to an unknown location, X. Does Langley know about this? They should. It's buried out there somewhere, X. Who knows the exact location? Question mark. Only WW. This was his last message, X. 38 degrees, 57 minutes, 6.5 seconds north, 77 degrees, 8 minutes, 44 seconds west, X, layer 2. Well, how about that, Jordan?
Yes, very intriguing.
Did you fall asleep? Did you take any of that in? I thought that was fucking cool. The frequency
I'm
analysis?
really fucking trying to keep this in. I'm too much of a dumbass for this. I really don't understand this stuff.
Really?
I
Not at all.
suck. Look, I'm getting little bits and pieces of it here and there, but like honestly, you guys, Jackson, I think you really need to understand this. I think you have about 1.5 IQ points for every 1 IQ point I have.
No, you're way smarter than me. You're way smarter than you give yourself credit for.
I'm more
It's just
worldly, Jackson.
Maybe.
Well, you've been
I'm
sitting
more
there in your
Lego-ly.
little robe, playing your Legos, playing with your stupid little games. I was also in a room, but I was reading about slightly more autistic subjects.
Not really.
Yeah, actually, not really. Yeah, I suppose. Go back to the original premise. You are just smarter, and you can pick up, like, I feel like there's always something missing in my brain when it comes to anything puzzly, when it comes to, a very good example of this is, I can guarantee everybody listening right now, you will be able to beat me in Connect 4, and I will fall for the same ploy every time.
Okay, never mind. Maybe you are
No
stupid.
pattern
What the fuck?
recognition. I'm stupid.
Do you like puzzles? Do you get any kind of enjoyment out of them? Because Kira's kind of like, she hates puzzles.
Does he?
Yeah,
Even
she
jigsaw
genuinely
puzzles.
hates them.
Because every time I look at Kira, I think I can imagine her being a 60-year-old woman with a self-knitted blanket over her lap, because I imagine that you two would be so poor that you wouldn't be able to afford heat. And she's sitting there watching Deal or No Deal and doing a puzzle.
Thank God she's not here right now. That was incredibly mean.
Do you reckon she wouldn't like that?
Who would like that? What do you mean? You need to get out of that room.
Wait, the poverty part or the puzzle part?
All of it. No one likes to be told, hey, I could imagine you as a boring 80-year-old. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, I don't know. Like, aren't we all going to be boring at that age? Well, you think, I can imagine you, Kira, snowboarding at 80. You'll break your hip and die, but it's cool.
I like how this is This is the hardest puzzle for you to understand is social interactions like that of what people might find, not palatable.
The greatest
very
puzzle
funny.
of all, people's facial expressions.
Not offending people. All right. Well, where was I? So wait, you don't understand anything so far.
Look. Okay. I'm kind of getting how they did it. Like, okay, there's a bubble line of the repetition of the DQM from the line D. I get those bits. I do get those bits. It's when what it is you say something and then I go, and then you say another thing and then I go, I forgot that other thing. You know? I think you have to break it down piece by piece. But yeah, go on.
But yeah, basically the DQM part, so finding those reoccurring letters in the code, since it was it wasn't a substitution. They knew from the frequency of the letters that it wasn't a substitution.
Yes.
Cipher. They knew that those reoccurring letters in those spots meant that that's probably where the keyword would have been.
Yes.
So from that, they then deconstructed the keyword because they could kind of look at how those keyword letters interact with other sets of letters within that. Anyway, so the 8-letter keyword, and then the keyword is how they deconstruct the entire thing, because that's the key that unlocks the ciphertext.
Yeah.
The 8-letter keyword that the team inferred when finding the solution of this Wigner cipher. So again, they brute forced it in a way. They deconstructed the entire ciphertext first without the keyword. Interestingly enough, from those other words that they deconstructed, like the numbers and stuff. Once they figure out those, because it's a transpositional cipher, you're then able to basically decrypt the rest of it just based off what letters make sense in each area. You don't even need the keyword at that point once you figured out a few words. So once they had that, they didn't need the keyword. But they did infer the keyword eventually when finding the solution of the Wigner cipher, and that word was abscissa, 8 letters long, ABSCISSA. And the Wigner alphabet was Kryptos, ABCDE, all the way through to Z. It was by solving this that they then discovered Kryptos was actually 4 parts, as there were still 2 rows of scrambled code left above the deciphered text that didn't decompile to anything meaningful when using the abscissa keyword. They had only solved K2 by using this method. They decided to look at K3 next, which was not going to be solved the same as K2, as it was a transposition cipher. To break down a simple transposition cipher, let's do an example. Our message will be Jackson is cool, which is a very cool hidden puzzle.
And
our
just
keyword is Ophelia. Well, first we align the keyword Ophelia into alphabetical order. So we take the letters and swap them around to be AEHILOP. That's Ophelia in alphabetical order. Then we assign each column number to the alphabetical ranking of the words. So if O is in column 1, then the order of where it should be is 6.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Okay, if anybody at home is getting this, I will give you a prize. Send it to my burned down house address. And I will send it back.
So in column 1, we then put Ophelia back in correct spelling word, and each letter is then given its column. So O is column 1, P is column 2. But then we assign it the number, the order of where it was in when the word is alphabetized, basically. So O has a value of 6 because it is the 6th letter when it is deconstructed into alphabetical order, and then so on. So column 1 has a value of 6, column 2 has a value of 7, column 3 has a value of 3, and so on. Each column has a random value basically assigned from its transpositional alphabetized ordering of the keyword. We then grab our message, Jackson is cool, which is 13 letters long. As we only have 7 columns due to the keyword Ophelia only having 7 letters, the message will create 2 rows underneath it. And then you just arrange it in numerical ascending order by column, filling in each blank space with an X. And now you have your cipher, which is NKCOSJAXOCLOIS, or when it's unciphered, Jackson is cool. This type of cipher can be broken by a bit of know-how and trial and error once you know that it is a transposition cipher. And this is exactly what this NSA team did by testing column widths and letter orders. They gradually assembled readable fragments and ultimately solved K3. It was also discovered here that the last 4 letters in K3, which are OBKR, actually belong to the K4 passage because of how the text is physically line wrapped on the sculpture. And then the K3 text is as follows, quote, desperately, spelled incorrectly spelled again on purpose, slowly, the remains of passage debris that encumbered the lower part of the doorway was removed with trembling hands. I made a tiny breach in the upper left-hand corner, and then widening the hole a little, I inserted the candle and peered in the hot air. Escaping from the chamber caused the flame to flicker, but presently details of the room within emerged from the mist. Can you see anything, Q? Question mark. What do you take from that?
Absolutely nothing, but it is cool.
Does that text sound familiar to you at all, since you're such a learned man?
Yeah, it does.
It actually does?
I'm really scared because if I actually say this and it's not correct, then I'm going to feel like a massive dumbass.
Do it. I bet you're correct.
Okay. Is it the Raven?
No.
Crap. No. What is it then? Oh, far out. Oh, I feel really bad. Oh, God. This is the worst thing ever. This is far out. This really reminds me of once I was like asked to be in this, great minds of the future under 30s, and everyone else in there was studying physics or engineering, and they were having some discussion about science. And the whole thing was them being like, the quadrahydrons of the string theory. And it was that over and over again. And then I got up and I was like, YouTube, you can put videos and connect with each other. It's this all over again.
That's the feeling you got from that. That does sound like it did psychic damage to you. That you bring
totally.
That kind of traumatic experience up.
Have you ever been in that scenario?
No, I've never been in that scenario.
Oh, it is so intimidating. The worst thing as well is absolutely nothing worse. Every single time, the other thing that triggers me about this is anytime I ever watch someone do a speech at Google Talks. That's obviously come against your feed at some point, I think because Google probably pushes it. But it's sort of their budget version of TED.
TED Talks, yeah.
I always feel sorry for whoever is doing a speech in front of that. There is nothing worse. I know from the experience of my audience being so highly autistic and annoying, but imagine people being autistic enough to work at Google and you're trying to teach them something. Could you imagine what an awful audience that would be?
Yeah, what's that feeling when you don't you feel like you don't belong somewhere? Like you don't you're not smart enough to be in the room, basically.
I don't know.
Even though you are qualified to be there, there's a term. It's like common in workplaces where imposter syndrome, basically.
Imposter syndrome. It is.
That's the term I was thinking of. Is that how you felt when you were trying to give your little speech about YouTube?
Imposter is a good way to think about it, but I also did feel very, very, very dumb. I felt the way that I've got a friend in our group that we're always like, oh, Reginald, that's not his name, but you're such an idiot. He gets that constantly. I felt like him, and it's not a nice feeling. But
and then you went back and took it out of Reginald.
Yeah. Yes.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. So yeah, anyway, what is it? If it's not that.
It's a quote from the book of the explorer who discovered Tutankhamun's tomb, I believe.
Oh, snap. Howard something?
Yeah, I forget his name, but I remember the book. I'm going to look it up.
Far out, man. I was so
I actually could be
off.
wrong as well, but I'm pretty sure that is a quote from it.
Howard Carter.
Yeah, Howard Carter. Cool quote. Not sure what it has to do with the CIA unless King Tut was a undercover CIA agent or something, which who knows at this point. The team falsely thought that K1 would be hard to break as it was so short, but it was another Vigenère cipher with the keyword with a keyword, which ended up being the word palimpsest. So repeating the same sets as K2 brought them the eventual answer, which is, quote, between subtle shading and the absence of light lies the nuance of occlusion. And occlusion is spelt wrong again. So each passage so far has had a single misspelled word. Occlusion, desperately, and underground from K2.
Untergrund.
These misspellings have caused a lot of question marks. In interviews, the statue creator, Jim Sanborn, has made it seem that these incorrect spellings have been entirely deliberate, but at the same time, he also coyly likes to insinuate that they are actual mistakes and he's simply only covering up for his errors. He has in one interview even said he was sloppy. He also added, quote, if you want to say it's intentional, then it's intentional, end quote. A true artiste.
It's what you think it means.
His words to the public surrounding Kryptos are almost like their own code at this point. This is a long interview with Sanborn. CNN, quote, CNN says, I see, why did you put deliberate misspellings in some of the clues? Jim replies, that's an ancient tool for making codes more difficult to crack. Saying I was sloppy is a good way of saying it. I didn't take tremendous care on what's been deciphered already because it was, if you want to say it's intentional because it makes it harder. It's unpredictable. Unpredictability is one of the strengths of difficult code, and I want it to be as unpredictable as possible. CNN replies, how many letters are there in the section that's yet to be solved? And Jim replies, well, you know, I've said it on the one hand that there are 97 characters. I have said that. I've referred to the last passage in several interviews over the years. Whether it's 97, whether it's 100, I seem to like to manipulate the information coming out in a sort of disinformation fashion, which seems appropriate for the project. And so a lot of the clues that I might give work in a sort of disinformational way, and that's a good thing. What is this, a BuzzFeed article?
Yes,
BuzzFeed article from the year 2000? What the fuck?
Yeah, feels like it.
I mean, that's a clandestine ethos, CNN replies. So you might even be giving me some information right now. Jim replies, it's possible, yes. CNN replies, that worries me. Jim replies, that's a good thing. A little worry is a good thing. Terror is not, but a little worry is a good thing. You know what? Frankly, I mean, encoding systems are so sophisticated now that frankly, in some ways, if the crypto sculpture is deciphered easily, then I think all of us should be a bit worried about the security of our personal information, the information that our federal government holds, that the agency holds. So some codes are really meant not to be broken. An end quote. That was from an interview with Sanborn from 2005, which I guess he could smell the way the wind was blowing because he was pretty correct with his assumption that information in the information age would be the hottest commodity and, you know, it would be pretty impossible to lock that shit up.
You got that going for him. I do really like the way that he ended that interview as well. Seems like a class act. Also seems like he's making up things. But if he's not, what a genius. It's very much, I meant to do that, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's the typical artist thing. Like, well, actually, everyone's correct no matter which way you look at it.
Yes,
art is all in the eyes of the beholder. It's like, yeah, but what did it actually say?
Yeah, but what does it actually, can you just say?
Yeah.
Come on.
Can you just tell us how to solve it? Or if it's even solvable? Seriously, like, give it to us straight.
I remember when I was in year 11, we had to do Cloud Street by Tim Winton. Americans wouldn't know, but I guess he's kind of like our John Steinbeck, but not as cool. And I wrote to him and we said to him that our English teacher said that art is supposed to be whatever you mean it to be. So I interpret your book to mean this. I can't remember what it was. But he wrote back really curtly and said, your teacher's an idiot and so are you. That is not what the book is about. I liked how blunt he was.
I'm much more. I really appreciate that about art way more than the whole art is, you know, whatever you interpret it as. I think that's more so the human condition. Like the human condition is you do interpret things differently. But I appreciate art in a lot of ways because of the artistic intent of the artist. I feel like that's way more impressive to me than whatever feelings I get from reading the art. I want to learn more about why someone created something, why they decided that this was the thing that they wanted, the story that they wanted to tell, what their emotions were behind it, what they intended with it. I feel like that's just way more interesting about art than, interpretation on the audience's part, for example.
So, like, how is that interesting?
It's
Oh,
not.
you come up with the answer. Well, you're a lazy piece of shit, aren't you? You really are.
Yeah.
So what are you just making? You're doodling. That's all you're doing. The same thing that a child could do. But even a child would say, no, it's a sun. And it may very well not be a sun. But I respect the 5-year-old more.
Yeah. I always hate that. I always hate that about artists who try that whole angle of, well, everyone's correct. Everyone's free to their own interpretations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dickheads.
It's not as deep as a thought as I think it is as well.
No, it really isn't.
Anyway, Sanborn clearly likes to keep things a little mysterious, with him often alluding to further mysteries within Kryptos and the deciphered text, hinting that parts that are now solved are just pieces of the puzzle to a larger mystery. What is known from what has been deciphered is that the text seems to refer back to light and shadows, which is littered throughout his sculptures. K2 is literally a map that points to a location just steps away from the sculpture. If you remember, K2 was the one with the degrees and the time and stuff of, the direction, basically, longitude and latitude.
Yes.
In the writing. However, he revealed in 2013 that what he buried in that spot, which was an apparent bronze United States Geological Survey marker, had been removed some time ago. K2 also references what many perceive as a compass, with keywords like invisible and Earth's magnetic field being present in the passage. One of the many parts of the Kryptos installation is the compass that is etched into the lodestone at the west entrance. And what is a lodestone, Jordan?
Magnetic stone.
There
Even
we
though
go,
I
we're
think that there's
learning.
got to be. Well, yeah, we did learn something, but I think that scientists are wrong. I think that there's other stones that can do it other than that.
No, it's only that one. And
Okay.
it's also covered in cum. K2 also references Langley, which refers to the CIA headquarters, and the WW that was referred to in K2 was confirmed to be about William Webster, who was a former director of the CIA. It has also been confirmed that the X's throughout the text are intended to be similar periods in radio transmissions, which is how Seaborn wanted the text to read, like it was a radio transmission. And what about K3? Well, it is actually text extracted from a book written in 1923, The Finding of the Tomb, which is about when Howard Carter, a British archaeologist and Egyptologist, first opened the tomb of Tutankhamun in 1922. This is except for the last letter in the text, Q, which is not written in the book. So where did that Q come from, and what is it? What does the Q mean? What does the L mean? All of these things, all of these riddles.
There's so many riddles.
All up for your interpretation. Chapter 4. The Unbreakable. So now we come back to the all-important question. What about K4? Those pesky 97 remaining characters that seemingly no one, not even Jordan, could solve, including some of the brightest individuals
Greatest
at America's leading information gathering institutes who were highly trained for just this very subject. They failed as well. As we said before, it was thought that K1 would be difficult to solve as it was a short cipher. Generally, the shorter a cipher is, the harder it is to decrypt because, there isn't enough text to reveal patterns, so too few repeats and unreliable letter frequencies, so nothing clearly stands out when it comes to really short cipher text. The more information you have, the more opportunities you have to decipher that information. As they had figured out the cipher fundamentals from the other passages, however, they were able to solve and decode K1 using the same logic. K4, frustratingly, wasn't that easy. It was both short and also incompatible with the rules the previous passages had used, a combination that left the decoders in the dark without a light, so as to speak. Their expert opinions on the uncrackable nature of K4 have seemingly been verified with time as well, and to this day, K4 has not been solved. Many have tried. In fact, Kryptos has never been a more popular puzzle than in this previous decade, but no one has yet been able to decrypt the plain text from the puzzle. Will it ever be solved? For now, the answer still remains in the palms of Sanborn's hands. Sanborn has stated that as an artist, he wanted this statue to live for a long time, something that endured the passage of time and maintained its relevance forever. This has caused some people to believe that K4, well, it may have been designed to be unbreakable as an artistic statement. and I do love a good artistic statement. Sanborn has reiterated that it is solvable, however, but he has also constantly bragged about how he is a proponent of misinformation in all of his quotes. So I don't think he's the most trustworthy person on the face of things. But on top of that, it's not just Sanborn that says that it's breakable, but also the other person who helped create the statue. The man's name was Shit or Sheet. It wasn't Shit. It was. How do you pronounce that? Shit?
I think so.
It might just be Shit.
It might
anyway.
be.
The CIA guy that he also made it with as well, who we mentioned in the beginning of the episode, who was a cryptographer that helped Sanborn with the art piece, who also maintains that K4 is ultimately solvable. Ultimately, though, the answer lies with Sanborn and Sanborn alone, as Sheet was not given access to the plain text. There is an interesting anecdote from Sheet about K1 through 3. Sheet has implied that they were not solved the way that they were intended to. Everything in the art piece also seems to affect each other. So the question is, are we missing something fundamental in the other pieces that could help shed light on K4? Because Kryptos isn't just the statue, as we know, and as an example of the interconnected meaning of the art piece, some of the slabs around the CIA have Morse code printed on them. Writing out this Morse code can eventually lead to the keyword needed to decrypt K2. Perhaps this was the intended way of deconstructing K2, and perhaps there is something abject from the actual ciphertext that could eventually break the code if someone thinks outside the box about the art installation itself. Or maybe it's even more esoteric. Maybe you have to like track down Sanborn and like find his social security number or something like that, and then use that as the ciphertext. But I'm just saying, get a little bit creative about it, guys. We're not thinking outside the box enough on this one.
Yeah, I don't think anybody that's into this would be thinking outside the box, would they? Hang on, do you need to think outside the box to solve puzzles? This is how limited I am in this field.
Some of them, yeah.
Okay. But they're all in boxes.
What do you mean? They're the box
puzzle boxes.
The only box is the logic of the puzzle itself. Each puzzle is different.
Yes, very metaphorical, Jackson.
No, I'm just saying you don't know the logic of a puzzle. That's kind of the entire point of puzzles.
You really like puzzles, don't you?
I am a big fan of puzzles. They're my favorite genre of video game. I love a good puzzle game.
What the hell's a good puzzle game? Does Prince of
so
Persia
many.
count as one?
No. I mean, it's got puzzle elements. But I'm talking about
okay.
I'm talking about the hardcore puzzle games. I'm talking about things like the Talos Principle. I've never heard of Pandemonium. Is that a board game? What is that?
Wait, are you talking about board games or are you talking about video games?
I'm talking about video games. That's Pandemonium.
Yeah, video games. Pandemonium. It's a PlayStation 1 game.
I've never heard of this. Oh, wow. Okay.
It looks
that might
pretty
be a puzzle game.
It might be, yeah. Who knows?
No, I'm talking about actual puzzle games for big men, not your PlayStation 1 games.
Not little boys.
Made for children. Yeah.
For real men.
The K1 keyword was palimpsest, which is a reused piece of writing which can be found and confirmed now as we know the message and are able to unlock the keyword in the cipher. However, it's still unknown how the keyword was intended to be found. So like we just said, like they were able to find the previous keyword. It was abscissa. The keyword was abscissa for K2. They were able to find that word through the Morse code on the slabs around the CIA building, whereas they haven't been able to find how to unlock the keyword or what the clue would have been for the keyword for the other for K1, for example, which is palimpsest, but we don't know how. We don't know how we're meant to know that. There are theories that it can be found in palindromes in the Morse code. Palindrome being when a message works both forwards and backwards. Race car is a good example. An interesting note about K1 and K2 keywords, if you combine palimpsest and abscissa and then rearrange the letters, you spell out PS, it's simple as ABC, which feels like it could be too pointed to be a coincidence. PS, it's as simple as ABC.
What do you reckon about that?
I mean, that does feel too pointed. Yeah, it does feel like it's a bit too on the nose to be just a coincidence.
Yes, yes. But if he is a real master puzzle maker guy, and it sounds like he is, I guess, maybe he did it to throw people off the scent.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say it could be a red herring, or it could be like a dead end that's just meant to mock the person trying
And mock it
to
does.
rearrange the words. Yeah, could be a bunch of those kinds of things. Just
Yeah.
a dead end. But regardless, I think it's like it feels too intentional. So I feel like that was probably on the mind of the artist when he did that. When he chose two words that, when rearranged, spell out the phrase "P.S." It's as simple as ABC.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, K3. Well, there are a few ways the message can be found. The first method is simply just counting every 192 letters, looping back around the text, and soon enough the message will be revealed. There was another theory on how to decode the cipher, which came from Sanborn himself when he showed the chart he used to create the cipher, used in K3. People noticed that in the lower left corner there was a little arrow, very small, but it immediately struck an idea. He had rotated the text. Essentially how it works is the message is written down in a 42 by 8 grid, and then the grid is then rotated. The entire grid is then rotated 90 degrees and rewritten into a new 14 by 24 grid. If you do this correctly, the message then exactly matches Jim's working that he shared with the world. However, if you keep rotating just one more time, you get the cipher. While this seems a cut and dry solution, what the little question mark at the end of K3 isn't included in Jim's writings that he shared. So what does it mean? Was it a mistake, or is it actually a part of K4? Sanborn has been questioned on this, but he has, of course, refused to comment. The question about K4 ultimately becomes, what if it can't be solved because the creator has unknowingly made it unbreakable? Well, around 16 years after creating Kryptos, Sanborn admitted that he had made a mistake in K2. For years, the community had been scratching their head at the end of the message, which initially read, ID by Rose. What did it mean? It turns out that Sanborn had actually missed a crucial S in between the E and the W at the end of the cipher. With this new letter, the final decoded message changed to, quote, X layer 2, which was in our original transcript. But basically, yeah, like this one letter that he had incorrectly not placed in the ciphertext fundamentally changed the meaning of the end of the decoded message in K2, which is an important point of, puzzles and stuff. You gotta go on under the understanding that or the trust that the logic that the puzzle uses is complete information wise. Otherwise, otherwise you're a lot of assumptions can be made on the puzzle solver's part that are based off flawed, incorrect.
Hard to trust it too when you're just above base camp and we're already at the second level where you don't even really need oxygen masks. Probably just a nice walking stick would help you. Even there,
and he's already
fatal
making
mistakes have been made.
Yeah,
not a great Sherpa.
Doesn't lead to a lot of trust in the higher base camps here at K4 at the summit.
Yeah, K4 really feels like that there's something that hasn't gone the way that band intended, which really not bad on everyone's count. I don't mind that being the ending.
Well,
anyway,
let's find out.
Yeah, let's find out.
Not long before that, a woman named Monet Friedrich was playing around with a cipher and had moved the initial A in the keyword abscissa to the end, spelling out B-sissa, B-S-C-I-S-S-A-A. The final sentence then read player 2 instead. At the time, this was a massive discovery, but without the information that Sanborn had actually made a mistake when creating the code, it went kind of under the radar. Sanborn has said that he believes K4 has no mistakes. He said it was fairly accurate, but this hasn't instilled much confidence in people since it took him years to notice the crucial mistake in K2. Sanborn has spoken about becoming increasingly impatient, waiting for someone to crack K4. He even revealed a major clue in 2010, revealing that a certain section of the cipher read Berlin when decoded. He then revealed another years later, revealing that another section of the word is the word clock right next to Berlin. Like it spells Berlin clock. Most likely getting even more frustrated, he released another clue in 2020. Another part of the cipher is the word northeast. And then in the COVID pandemic, he released another one. Again, it was the word east. So with the information, the cipher looks like what is on the screen right now, Basically, it's currently 4 lines and about 25% of the plain text is solvent. It reads east, northeast, and then Berlin clock on the 3rd and 4th line. So, yeah, a good chunk of the ciphertext has been decoded into the plain text by Sanborn, basically just giving us the answer. But even with almost 25% of the plain text given, people still have not been able to break the cipher. Many think that the Berlin clock referenced is in reference to the Mengelenher, which is a clock that tells time by lights and illuminated color fields. This seems like an interesting theory, given that the K1 plaintext talks about there being answers between shading and light. There are so many theories on how to solve K4, and honestly, if you have no idea, if you have an idea on how to do it, chances are that your idea has been done by now a few times over. Some believe that maybe it needs to be looked at by someone who really knows nothing about ciphers, an amateur as Sanborn is himself. So there you go, Jordan. That's what I want you to do this weekend. Take a crack at it.
Okay. I will report back to you with obvious success next time on Red Thread. I'll give it a go. I seriously will, and I'll tell you how far I got. Because I'm going to guess that it'll be like, as much as that German lady did.
I'm going to guess that you somehow reverse the progress that Sanborn has given us and you lose Berlin clock and east, northeast somehow.
Okay, so I spoil it for everyone. Oh, no, you mean I literally lose all references of text on the internet to it.
You just lose the understanding that he's given us. He's given us parts of the text already. It comes out even less deciphered.
Jesus Christ. Pissing off generations of people that work at the CIA. Just what I need.
There is a theory that the erroneous L that is printed on the side of the statue, it's not erroneous. We already know it's part of the advanced alphabet. Come on, guys. We've solved this.
Yeah.
But there is a theory about this erroneous L, a theory not involving our advanced alphabet, that is printed on the side of the statue. They believe that this L is a clue that a hill cipher needs to be used, as if you look at the statue sideways, you tilt your head, the area with the extra L spells hill vertically. A hill cipher is a polygraphic substitution cipher that uses linear algebra, so I am not interested at all in learning more about that one. Nothing has come from this line of thinking so far, however. Others think that the cipher was run through multiple different ciphers, like the text went through a Vigenère cipher, then the result went through a transposition cipher, so that the cipher has many layers of encryption to it to uncrack. However, without more clues or breakthroughs, I mean, he's already given us 25% of it in clues, basically. So, hey, what's another 25%? Just give us the answer.
Just do it.
It's clearly not going to happen.
Come on.
Without more clues or breakthroughs, these various pursuits haven't borne success as of yet. This year, there have been reports that K4 has been solved, but it has not been confirmed. 2 writers, Jarrett Kobeck and Richard Byrne, had an interest in Kryptos and were looking at auction listings of Sanborn's coding charts, which are in the Smithsonian Institution's archives. These coding charts would offer a way to solve K4, and Sanborn was looking to possibly get $500,000 for the notes. Jesus
fucking Christ. How'd he go with that?
I guess it was somewhat successful.
Yeah.
But Byrne and Kobeck noticed that the documents actually had scraps of paper taped together that revealed the hidden message. So they technically solved it in the sense that they might know the full plain text, but they didn't really solve it in the sense that the cipher itself still remains uncracked. Sanborn did confirm that the message they had was real and it had been a mistake, including those scrap documents in the auction. He asked the Smithsonian to seal the files for 50 years and they complied. He also sent a warning to the 2 writers, asking them not to release the message, even threatening legal action. And for now, they have agreed. Will K4 and by extension Kryptos ever be solved? Who knows? We have essentially been given 1/4 of the message, and it is still a complete mystery. The logic of the decoding process is. K4 is seemingly not the end either, with Sanborn hinting that there is a K5 mystery that can be solved once K4 is revealed. Maybe you, dear Red Thread listener, will be the one to reveal the secrets of Kryptos. But probably not.
Nonetheless, we do believe in you and we all care about you very much. And
if
we
you
really
stuck
hope the best for all of you.
With this, cough medicine infused episode of Red Thread. I congratulate you, because that kind of been the
You
easiest
passed the test.
episode to pass.
No.
But I do appreciate you guys sticking with us. If you enjoyed this episode, if you had a lot of fun and laughs during it, which most of all is what we hope you do each time you listen to Red Thread, is laugh first, then learn second. If we hit at least one of those criteria, I'm happy.
It's all edutainment, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about at the end.
If you enjoyed it, share it with a friend whose day you want to brighten. How about that? But if you don't have any friends, sign up at official.men for a free 7-day trial to ad-free early access Red Thread episodes. We'll be your friends.
You can always buy
there.
friends.
Yeah, do that.
Very psychologically healthy.
You don't even have to buy it. It's a 7-day free trial.
Yeah. Try now.
I'll give you my friendship for 7 days for free. Just go try it.
That's how good of a friend he is. Potentially.
It can be bought for nothing.
Yeah. You've really got nothing to lose.
Your support means a lot to me as your friend. I really do appreciate that. So thank you very much. It really does make the show possible. And if you're our friend over at our membership site, you can ask us questions, which we'll then read out on the show. Like these questions. Zach asks, do y'all think Section K4 was made impossible on purpose as a bit of trolling? What do you think?
No, I honestly think it's the accident now. That's my conclusion after hearing that he screwed up K2. And he doesn't want to admit it.
I don't think that it's unsolvable. I mean, he seems desperate for people to solve it because he's provided like a code. He's provided 25% of the plain text given, which means there is plain text there. So I don't think that it's on purpose if it is unsolvable. I think that it's an amateur cryptologist. He just fucked it up. I think that's
what I think too.
Way of putting it.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's it. He fucked it up. Does that answer your question? That is the official Red Thread position.
I'm 50% either he fucked it up or it's gone through multiple different layers of encoding that are just really difficult to use in conjunction with each other, which is, of course, a possibility. I feel like if he did fuck it up, like he would, after the embarrassment of what happened with K2, surely he would have gone back and like re-cracked it to see if it's possible.
Yeah, it's probably true, right? Honestly, don't you reckon?
Yeah,
it's a really good way to think about it.
At least confirmed that it can be cracked after that embarrassment.
That's quite possible.
So maybe it is just extremely difficult to crack. The Blaze Maze asks, how much do you think the CIA actually knows about the final section? Could they have solved it and kept it classified? Do you think Kryptos was ever really meant to be solved, or is the unsolved final piece part of its message about secrecy?
No, I think that Jackson's right. I think he desperately wants this thing to be solved. You would after a while. I mean, come on, he wants to see someone crack it. He's an old man. If there's one thing that I know from reading some books, old people seem to want to have closure in their life. Can you imagine that? Because you know that at some point someone is going to crack it. They will develop AI or something and you will never be alive to see it. And this is the most important thing this guy's ever done. What do you reckon?
I think the CIA doesn't know the answer. I don't think they solved it. I don't think they kept it classified. I think no one has solved it so far. Do I think that the Kryptos was ever really meant to be solved? Yes, I think ultimately it was meant to be solved, given how he's talked about it in previous years. He is desperate for it to be solved, which means that it probably is solvable. But I think, and plus I think the overall message of the art piece still comes through about secrecy and things like that, given, it's already littered throughout all of the other references throughout the plain text that have been deciphered. So I'm not really sure what additional message could be gleaned by him making it completely uncrackable. And in fact, he seems to be of the message, of the idea in his interviews that everything is eventually crackable, right? That's what he was saying about, governments having our information and stuff like that. It's actually a dangerous thing in how crackable all information is. So surely his messaging in this sculpture would have been, even no matter how many layers of encryption we put on this thing, ultimately all information is crackable. I think that would have been his message more than anything. Which is probably why he's so frustrated now that that his message hasn't been cracked, because it's disproving his point a little bit for now.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Look, actually, Jackson, that's a really concise conclusion of everything. I really like your theory. You've wrapped that up well. I mean, we've got Zodiacal Bong to weigh in on this. Maybe he'll blow my mind.
Here's one last
actually,
one.
if anyone can do it, it is this man.
Yep. He says, he asks, our good friend Zodiacal Bong asks, do you think the finding of the plain text of K4 and the intended auction of the solution will kill the public drive to solve the encryption? Or do you think the confirmation that K4 does in fact have a discoverable solution will spur a massive wave of decoders, and that it will be sooner rather than later that we get a solve? I think that ultimately the amount of brain talent put into trying to decrypt this thing has already kind of hit its plateau. I think it's already had like an enormous amount of attention.
It's had its day.
The top minds at NSA and CIA working on this thing, as well as just people from across all of these different institutes. So I'm not sure if the public drive now, if there even is one, will make a difference. I don't think that's going to be the factor in it. There's already passionate people that are still to this day trying to crack it, and that's been the case for the last 30 years. So I don't think that's going to make a difference. I think ultimately it'll just come down to the right person stumbling onto the right discovery at the right time. I don't think the public drive at the moment is going to impact that. It might actually also negatively impact it, because so many people get in there and start spreading misinformation or going on
that could definitely happen.
Wild goose hunts, and they start to muddy the water of like publicly available information about it, to the degree that the experts start to get confused by just the enormous amount of not peer reviewed information about it. It might just get a bit too messy, but I don't know.
Yes.
Who knows where this goes? All right, that's going to do it for this week's episode. Jordan, do you have any last minute words?
Look, honestly, I didn't mind that, pretty much because I think that you were interested in it, Jackson, and as a result of not really understanding any of this code that is supposed to not be cracked, so I don't feel too bad about not cracking it. But the fact that you seem quite intrigued by it, I think got us along a podcast that you immediately started by telling everybody to click off.
Well, that's because I just wanted this episode to just be, I'm sick at the moment. I wanted it to be between us and friends would stick around through that message and not click off anyway. So anyone who's made it this far is, of course, a friend.
A friend.
That's my
it's
logic.
Certifiable. Much better than everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Everyone who did take my advice
Earth.
and clicked off, bad friends.
Terrible friends. That was the original test, and you failed. And you didn't hear that either.
They can't hear it.
You feel fine about yourself.
They clicked onto a much more entertaining video.
Screw you. Nuts to you.
No, Jordan's got shows, of course. Go check out his shows. He won't be doing YouTube content for a little while. You can find out why over at his YouTube channel. Red Thread will be still going on as per usual. So you've got Jordan here still. Other than that, official.men, his live show tickets, things like that. Go check it out. Links below. Thanks, guys, for watching. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.